Have you ever stopped to think how much of your life is dictated by people other than you? Welcome to Putting It Straight, the YouTube channel that gets people to reevaluate their values and to rethink their beliefs. In this video, you are about to find out how we live our lives for others instead of living our own lifestyles. If you watch till the end, you are going to learn 1. How these processes, the phenomenon, takes place, and secondly, what to do to take charge of your life henceforth. You're asking me how that happens. All this while, you are not aware you are living for most part of the facets of your life. You're living out some other person's lifestyle. Okay, don't worry, sit down. We are going to discuss it. Now, it happens in 2 or 3 stages, basically. For the sake of this video, I don't want it to be technical. I want it to be what it is, simple social discussion. Otherwise, it would be longer than this, but because we want to make it shorter. Now, the first stage, platform on which this phenomenon, that is how we tend to imbibe and practice other people's lifestyles and call it our own. It happens first on the platform of childhood education and indoctrination. You know, in every family, the child or the children, they do not dictate, do not tell themselves this is going to be my father. They do not have a part in determination who becomes your mother or father. It just happens on us. That's point number 1, because whose child you are is not determined by you, except your parents. And so when we are born into our families, you do not tell your mother, this is what I want to eat, at least when you are born. Neither do you tell your father. You don't tell them, I want to go to this school or that, except when you are much older. And so the family culture is imposed on you. Open your eyes to see that and follow it through. It becomes part of you. You look at the culture of your environment, the society, even beginning from the community where you live. You see, whatever is considered right, whatever is considered best to do is what they do, and you grow up to imbibe, and you're bound to go on along the paths of your forebears. You cannot oppose without being labeled a deviant or something. So the society dictates what you do. In your particular environment, you know what I'm talking about, what you have come to realize to be part and parcel of you. But let's take some examples. You see, the religion you practice until maybe much later in life you change is the one dictated by your parents, by their choice. If they were Muslims, that's where you're born into. If they were Christian, Hindu, that's it. See? Part of it begins from birth as you grow up. And the fact about life is that it is all about indoctrination. So the indoctrination starts right from cradle. And so in the churches, that's what happens. And then the culture, the tradition. Everybody wants to be identified with the tradition of his people. And so few people can deviate, and many have consequences for doing so. Then the social norms, the things that the society feels should be done, that is right, that is wrong, you go by that. You never determine it. And so people at that early stage, we take everything, hook, line, and sinker, without question. The second stage is when we mature a little and then go to school, whether it is secondary school or higher institution, we call it colleges or universities. It too builds upon the foundation of indoctrination in the childhood by requiring that you be indoctrinated. You see, at school, take for instance, as a teacher, most teachers require students, for example, when they take mathematics, to follow the formula that is given to them. And unless they follow that, it is marked wrong for them as having failed. But that should not be the case. As in some countries, the educational system shows that you do not confine children like that. Otherwise, you kill their initiative, you kill their creativity. But in many parts of Africa, particularly Nigeria, when a child fails to do according to the dictates of his teacher, it is marked wrong for him. You see, we are confined to follow what others have done, and it is not so. So you realize right at the school level, they emphasize conformity over critical thinking. They give preference to it. So as a result, now it dampens your boldness, curiosity, and initiative is killed. The next thing you find is that people leave school with a head full of past knowledge that is not enough for them to chart a new course that is better for them. So in many cases, you find those countries that are backward. It's because of their system of education that prioritizes conformity to what has been done. Everybody, this is how it has been done. And unless you follow that path, you are wrong. That helps us to live the lifestyle, the dictates, to live out the dictated life of what others have thought to be good. So in the final analysis, you get misinformed and go by the haphazard, half-truth, half-false information you have been given. And you live wrong perceptions about life and the world itself. And this keeps you on backward and hardly advanced. Look, for example, our system of education. In many African countries, particularly Nigeria, the educational system, they told them, you've got to go through school and go be a very good civil slave, which is beautifully called civil servants. And today, in this age, when the reality of life has changed, and it becomes apparent that the jobs aren't there anymore as much as it was. They are like fish out of water. So this is part of the process of making us to live the lives of others. Now, the third level is the media and the social influence. Watching our media, this is replete. They reinforce. One stage reinforces the activities of the other. Look at what you see as being advertised in the newspapers, on the television, in the radio. They influence us so much so that we tend to make our lives look like that and choose to. But particularly when you have celebrities who have made their own lifestyle, we tend to copy. Our kids want to copy that. And so they try to model their lives after these persons. What about the social media, particularly in these times, when everybody's so glued to the social media through one device or the other? The life of the important individuals in the community are what catches our attention, and we want to be like them, even though we end up not being like them. The media impresses on you that you should do this and do that, otherwise, and we have seen the consequences. So far, have you seen how the phenomenon of getting people to live the lives of others taken place? Have you seen how it has taken place? Have you seen? So the next question in your mind is, what did you say? How to get free from this, or how to change it? Yeah, okay, let's talk about it. There are a few ways we can do this. You can be yourself. One is to learn to ask questions. Don't accept things. You get in the church, they tell you this, and read the Bible itself and then make it a reality. Do not listen to theoretical preachers, but look at those who blend the Bible, in fact, with the realities of life and give you the right way. Ask questions. Don't be one who takes everything hook, line, and sinker. You try also to verify assumptions. That's the second way to take your life into your hand. So the cultural assumptions and the practices and traditions people practice over time, we have seen that many of them have been archaic. They do not work. So what should you do? Learn to take responsibility. Much of the time we sit back and let others do what they think is good for us. You're still subjecting yourself when you do that, so that others do what they think is good for you and you accept it. Dare to think differently. That's another way. You can break free from living people's life and attempt to live your own. Above all, always remember that when you live out a lifestyle of others, the negative consequences that come as a result, it is you who will face and not those other ones. So you see, have a greater reason to be up and doing and take life into your own hands. The summary is that there are 3 stages through which we live as our lives for others, and that begins with indoctrination in the primary school, secondary school, and then further up in the universities or colleges when we attend, when we are supposed to go through the laws, follow the laws that have been the scientific laws that have been kept there, with having to question them. Those who question are the ones, the few who question, the little percentage are those who come with new inventions that make our lives better. And then, this is it. There is more to find out in this channel. Remember, we are here to help you develop power of critical thinking, identify the truth through questioning. So if what we have done has been of benefit to you, why not like it, subscribe to the channel, and share the worldwide education. You have views, you have contrary opinion about our presentation, feel free. Let me share your thoughts in the comment. And until I come again, keep questioning, but hold on to what is true.